Hello, everybody. This is Purge, bringing you guys a first-person replay commentary. I am playing Vengeful Spirit on this one. I figured it was a while since I last did a Venge game. I actually checked Google search, and I think it's been like 7 months. And there's two things that I can talk about. Yeah, 7 months since I last played a Venge game. Two things that I can focus on. First of all, she is a really good support hero, so I can talk about a lot of support basics that kind of cover pretty much any hero. And on top of that, I can also talk about Venge as a hero and cool little things that you can do with her. Now, I didn't do like a full ward supporting. I was going to say another word there, but decided not to. She's not exactly like a full. I didn't play her at this game exactly like a full ward person. But that's usually what you should do in higher level games. But I was a little bit more greedy. I opted for a lot more mid-game items than you should normally get on Avenge. But it all kind of worked out nicely anyways. So we will hop into the game here, and I will choose the player perspective that I want. And we can talk a little bit about Venge. So I think her model looks awesome now. If you guys look at her portrait, I think she looks fantastic compared to what she did in the past. She looks really cool. I like the way that she looks a lot. A little bit about her skills. She's a pretty low-ranged hero. I think it's only 400. So it's like 3/4 of a ranged hero. So she's not exactly the best in a tri-lane for that reason, because preferably you want somebody that's more max range. I did random this game. Somebody already bought the courier, so I decided to buy a lot of support items. I really do recommend buying a sentry ward because it does give your team a big advantage in the early game, especially if you're paying attention. My sentries were actually quite important this game, so I'll make sure to point those out when I get to them. But most important thing, other than getting maybe sentries and a salve tango, is you have to get clarity potions. This is the case for all support heroes that are not int heroes. And even int heroes should get clarity potions.
30 seconds.
The reason int heroes can get away with it is because they have so many int points that their mana pool is usually a lot larger. But if we look at Venge, for example, my bread and butter early game spell is Magic Missile. It is 110 mana. My mana pool is 195. That means if I cast one Magic Missile, I am completely out of mana. You have to go to lane with Clarity Potions, or you are going to be the most crappy support ever. If you don't go with Clarity Potions, you're going to throw one stun, and you're going to have to wait like 20 seconds until you get more mana. And then you can throw a second stun, and then you're pretty much out for the next 2 minutes or so. And that is not acceptable for a support hero at all. It's absolutely not acceptable. You need to be able to throw your stun more often than that. So one clarity potion will do it, but I really recommend at least 2 for a support hero like Venge. Another hero that can do this, for example, that is similar in this situation, Venomancer, for example. If we go click on Venomancer really quick, 125 mana to cast his Gale. He only has 220 mana. That means that he needs a little bit more mana to cast 2, even with these Ironwood branches. So he very righteously will pick up clarity potions, and that's absolutely what he needs to do as well. So go with clarity potions. I random, so I got lucky. I had lots of extra gold. I bought a gauntlet as well, just to increase my HP by what, 57 HP. I maybe could have gotten a circlet instead, but I was basically planning on getting an urn this game because I really like urn on support heroes, whether or not they're int heroes or not. I kind of picked this up from watching EGM play in some of the alliance matches. What he basically does is, by the way, I clicked on that Magnus there and I saw that he did have an observer ward, so I'm going to go try to find him and see where he's going. That way I can see where his inventory is at. So now that I see him, I click on him. I saw that he only had 1 observer ward left of 2 previously, so that means he probably came over here and warded the high spot. There's a lot of little mental intuition you can use to check where people are warding. I saw him on his lane with a ward. He ran into the river, which means there's pretty much only 2 likely places that he just placed it. And I'll go, oops, sorry guys, that's me. My bad. Sorry. One sec, recording. Alright, so close your eyes. If we go to free camera here, the only 2 places that he was likely to place a ward are right here, which we can obviously see it is. It's either here or it's going to be here. This one kind of sucks though. It's not as good. If you're more worried about getting dewarded, this would be the good one to place. For example, I basically made a gamble, as you'll see in a second, placing a sentry ward on the high ground here, when it really could have been here. If this Magnus wanted a lower chance of getting dewarded, he could have put the observer ward here. If I actually, for example, if we had ward vision, if our observer ward was not here but it was instead here, and then he placed the Observer Ward here, I would have seen that and I would have dewarded anyways. But he was a little bit late on placing the Observer Ward, so I came over here and bam, I put the sentry down. It's usually about right here. Sentry vision is quite low, so if he would have put the Observer Ward here instead, I might not have spotted it, which would have been a little unfortunate for me. But I did end up getting it with my sentry, So first ward is gone. I know he has a second one, and I know that he's probably going to want to put it on the pole spot. I did not see him place that there, but I did see, at some point I saw that a second observer ward was gone, but it was like really late, like 3 minutes later. Basically I was hoping that he would come this way and I would be able to kill him, but he very wisely put an observer ward down so that he could have vision of me when I'm trying to kill him. I did want to make sure that he didn't block the camp at some point, but it was a pretty big mistake of me. Actually, did not check his inventory and see that a second ward was placed. That was a pretty big mistake because basically we spend the next like 2 minutes looking at each other and not actually doing anything. So what I'm doing right now is trading hits with the long lane. This is not really that bad of a thing to do. The only thing I have to worry about is him skewering. I should have stunned him right there, I think, to get some extra damage in. I was considering it. I was about to the point where I felt like stunning, because it would have done an extra 150, 200 damage, something like that. But it's not a bad thing to trade. And this is where I was about to lag, I think. I had this like internet disconnect for like 10 seconds and I wasn't on Skype with anybody, so I couldn't tell them. So we'll see what actually happens here. This is where I was lagging. See it because I'm not moving my mouse. I was freaking out. Last I checked, I was like right-clicking on the Magnus or something. That scared the crap out of me, though. It looks like my mouse clicks were still going through, something like that, but my screen was like disconnecting. That scared the crap out of me. Anyways, the pull is completed. It's not a bad thing for a support like me to be sitting at level 1 to harass the mag out of range. He's getting 0 EXP right now, partially because the Drow is doing a nice job in keeping him out of EXP range, but it's absolutely worth it for a hero like Venge to keep Magnus out of range, especially a hero like Magnus. When Mag hits 6, he has reverse polarity, and then you're going to have a bad time. I think it's at this point just about, I think it was about the 3-minute mark that I checked his inventory and I realized that his observer wards were missing. So pretty soon here I'll check on him, I'll click on him and be like, oh hey, his obs are missing. So this is why I'm getting ready to place my sentry. I just wanted to check the pull to make sure that he didn't block the camp first, because if he blocked the camp then my sentry would be wasted. And then I see he did not block the camp, therefore his ward is probably in this area here. And then I placed the sentry down and there's the ward. So we did waste some time on it, but it's okay. Observer ward is gone, and now the Radiant team has absolutely no map vision, which means that not only does our mid have bottle advantage, aka he will see where the runes spawn, so he should have a better chance of getting the runes than our opponent. But yeah, it all went well. I think the pull ended up finally going towards the Radiant lane, so Mag will finally get some EXP here, but I'm just going to kind of sit in lane. That way I can contest him if needed. So I'm just going to stand right here. I'm taking some damage, which is a mistake, but I just want to make sure that Mag has no option of getting last hits at the moment. He probably only has Skewer since he's level 1 and he was worried about dying most likely. I thought that the catapult wasn't there, so I thought that we were going to dive past the tower. Slight mistake for me, but I'm going to pop a salve as well as a clarity potion so that I can get my mana and my HP back up to full really fast. Salve was very slightly wasted, maybe like 100 HP worth, but I would have not been full HP otherwise. So I pick up level 2, I'm going to grab Wave of Terror here. If you guys don't know how Wave of Terror works, it is a HP removal spell, which means that it does not disable things like clarities and salves. It can kill people though, but HP removal abilities would be, like, Wave of Terror would be way too good at disabling salves and clarities, because look at the range on it, you can basically easily cast it on somebody. So that's HP removal. It's a different damage type that's not very often encountered, but he's trying to pull this centaur, or the Furbolg into the lane, which did actually end up working out, so those side pulls are a lot harder to land, I must say. I think I heard a hook land. We might as well try to right-click down these creeps because they're not going to die otherwise. Just 2 little creeps like this isn't going to get it. Getting a little bit of extra experience this way is not a bad thing. And then Mag has finally been able to pick up level 6, but even still, I'm going to be at a slight level disadvantage, but that's okay as a support hero. You'd always rather have a support hero be lower, like a support hero be at level, I don't know, 2 or something, and delay your mag, the enemy mag from being 6 faster. Usually there's not as big of high impact heroes in the long lane, like a Clockwork, for example, doesn't necessarily need to be 6 to be semi-useful, but it does help him a lot. But Mag is definitely a hero that we want to keep it down as long as possible. And now since we started on these ancient, or these camps anyways, the supports might as well go take them. And again, it is very important to remember that we don't necessarily want to take the EXP that the Drow Ranger is getting. Now that Drow has a really big level advantage over the mid lane, and I want to look at that quick while we're preparing to smoke gank the mid lane. If we take a look at Drow now, he's been getting solo EXP this whole time while we've been pulling and zoning out the Meg. Drow is now almost level 6. Compare this to a Mag who is level 3. And not only does he have a 2-3 level advantage, he's also got an entire phase boost. So that means he not only has levels, but he also has a giant movement speed advantage over the Magnus, which means he has a pretty good shot of actually killing Magnus, which I think he does at one point. So we did end up going towards the smoke gank mid. Pudge was going for top runes. This is the easiest kill ever here on the Pudge. He had absolutely no chance of surviving, but regardless, if he actually did come a little bit forward, I'm actually going to back up a little bit so you guys can watch that a little bit more since we did miss it. It's going to mess up the whole watching game with commentary thing, but sorry about that. Anyways, so we were going to go gank mid, and then we could see that he was going for the top lane because of the rune, and this means that we should have a pretty easy kill here. I just threw the Gale was completely unnecessary, I think, but we did end up killing the Pudge regardless. So another clarity potion, and then bam. I now have, I'm going to have more mana again. The other guy ended up buying the Flying Courier already, so I just bought boots and a gauntlet. Drowinger did end up solo killing Magnus, which usually can happen when your hard carry gets an EXP and a gold advantage. Once you have about a boots advantage, it doesn't really matter what the matchup is. Your hard carry should be able to win that lane in almost all circumstances. So if you do a good job keeping the EXP down for the Magnus, it's a good thing. I'm now thinking about the fact that this video might not be entirely helpful for you guys because you don't often run into a long lane solo. You more often will run into like a dual lane that shouldn't technically be in the long lane, but hopefully these principles can still apply and you'll understand maybe high level play a little bit more or higher level play. This is obviously just a pub game, but the same principles apply. So, got a gank off, used my smoke for that. I didn't know if they had a ward. They actually did not end up having a ward, I think, but it still worked out nicely. Magnus is taking some damage. I was trying to pull this camp into the large camp, but I was a little bit late. I needed to pull that about a second earlier. I think Fluff told me the other day it's about 600 HP is where the pull is good. So technically I ended up pushing the wave because I did a single pull, and I didn't pull it into the next camp, so I wanted to try to make up for this, but the waves ended up median, so there's pretty much nothing I could do about it now. This is going to give Magnus a lot of experience, and that was a pretty big... It's kind of a big mistake, but it has high reward if you do it right, because I could deny a full wave of EXP and get 2 creep camps worth of EXP. On the bright side, there is a catapult, so that means that we can actually push the tower, which I think we ended up attempting to do here. So I'm doing a wave of terror here to lower the armor of the entire wave. This means that our creeps will do more damage to the tower. One nice thing about Venge, she's pretty okay at pushing with only 40 mana. I actually grabbed a second level Wave of Terror because I like the minus armor myself. And there's a shockwave. The biggest problem with that shockwave there is he casted it right before our next wave got there, which meant that not only he can't actually contest the wave, but we have creeps now to tank the tower. If he would have saved that shockwave for a half of a second, like see how he pulled that last creep there? If he would have saved the shockwave for a half a second, it would have pulled the rest of the entire creep wave past, and it just would have been us and a catapult. And the catapult we could have tanked for, but the damage really was there a lot heavier when the creep wave was there. And they tanked, so... Looks like Pudge ends up dying again. I think Vanna was roaming on the mid lane. And now I pick up level 4. I'm able to buy a magic wand, or magic stick, excuse me. I should have bought wards by the 6-minute mark, so that was a pretty big mistake for me, but I was kind of being greedy here. Gauntlets are actually extremely expensive for the average support hero. Was I stacking? Yeah, I was stacking. Gauntlets are extremely expensive for the average support hero, honestly. You can't oftentimes afford them. I TP'd mid because I thought Troll would be chasing here, and we're going to see a Torrent actually on the Troll. And he actually stayed for the last hit, which is a big mistake. He literally stayed for a last hit, so I was able to stun him and Wave of Terror, and we got the kill. That was pretty cool. I really wanted to just buy my Urn because I wanted the extra heal capabilities. Urn is so good on a support hero in the early game. Every time a hero dies, you get 2 salves that you can use on either yourself or allies, or you can get the damage with it. And Jaw's gonna die here on the top lane. He was way too far up, I would say. So I remembered that I stacked this camp, so I was gonna pull into it. This is also gonna pull the top lane back as well. That way Draw won't have to be all the way up at the tier 2 tower, for example. Looks like Venno or somebody else actually did end up buying wards, so we will have some ward vision. Not the best ward vision, it covers the Windrunner really well, but doesn't really cover the other lanes. And rather than pulling here, I maybe should be with my team. I think there's some arguments to be made that I should be with my team right now instead of doing this pull, but finishing the Urn is pretty useful, honestly. So, I don't know. Sometimes I'm a greedy support, but I think the fast earn did kind of pay off hard this game. And I also get a 5th level out of this. I personally like maxing Magic Missile. There was a point in time where Magic Missile was not maxed first, but that was when the stun duration was the same at all levels, and the only thing that changed was the damage. But I really like having the reliability of a high damage nuke, and especially at lower levels, I 100% recommend with this because it really does increase your damage output. Now, the second pull actually went through, so our tower took a little bit of damage from this slight mistake from me, but it still should pay off. But I really do like having the big nuke damage possible out of Magic Missile like that. The stun duration goes up as well, and especially against heroes like Troll Warlord or Anti-Mage, it's really nice to have longer disables possible. So I almost picked up level 6. If I was paying attention, I would have just kept walking. Because I think what I did, I bought here, and then I was like, okay, I want to go fight with my allies, but then I was like, I'm one creep EXP away from getting 6, and after seeing them die like that, I was like, oh, this is kind of stupid, I probably should just get level 6 first. And then I was like, okay, well, I'll run back over the creep wave, and I should have been planning ahead a little bit better. But once I hit level 6, I have swap, and then my hero is infinitely better. The third skill is also very good, the Vengeance Aura. It isn't as good early, but the benefit of this game is we actually have Drow Ranger as well as Vengeful Spirit, and both of them give damage auras. Drow only to ranged heroes, but Venge to all heroes, as well as creeps. So my urn is now picked up. I wanted to finish my wand, but I didn't actually have enough items. So I bought the whole recipe, but I actually had too many parts to fly out was the problem. I couldn't bring a TP scroll as well as a full magic wand. I think I saw the recipe, yeah. You could see the recipe there. And finally I TP'd the bot lane. So I think it was a slight mistake for me to spend this much time being solo instead of helping my team, but like I could have gotten 6 if we got hero kills. It's hard to say. I got an urn out of it, and I almost completed a magic wand, so this does make me an extremely strong support hero. This is like quite farmed for the 12-minute mark for a support hero, but that's partially because we have 3 towers. We have 3 towers. I was able to get some neutrals and things like that. So that was a sick torrent. He actually committed suicide there, which is too unfortunate, but was I buying? I think I should buy wards here. Actually have pretty good ward vision. I don't know if I ended up buying anything, but the other reason that an urn is really nice for a support hero, it gives HP, which any support hero will need, and the mana regen is also fantastic. It's not a massive amount of mana regen, but even getting 0.5 per second more is the equivalent to a level 1 CM aura, and it will pay off in the long term. You do spend a lot of time standing around anyways, as you guys can see. I'm just trying to be in position to help allies if needed, or to be able to like disable anybody that comes and shows up. Like, it looks like we do want to push here. He was sitting invis, but he actually got spotted, so I was trying to get in position to swap him, but I didn't think he was going to get hooked. So there we go, wand is completed. +3 to int and +3 to strength are the important things there. I'd like to point out something. I'd like to point out something that is oftentimes misdone on Vengeful Spirit for lower levels. Usually a lot of Vengeful Spirits will say, I'm an agi hero, I want to buy a Slipper of Agility, but this is more of a starting item build thought, by the way. But I think that's an absolute waste to be getting the Slipper of Agility. You don't actually want to increase your agi much on Venge, despite her being an agi hero. What you really want to increase is her strength and her intelligence. Those 2 stats are by far more important. Wow, we just saw a troll there, I think. But maybe we didn't. I could have swore that we did. We were going on a really elaborate gank to kill the anti-mage, I seem to remember. We knew he was probably to our right, but we didn't want him to get past us, so there he is. We're trying to anticipate his blink here. Alright, so there's a shackle. I'm going to Wave of Terror just to give the bonus damage. And now that he's gotten silenced, he's definitely going to die. So I just wanted to walk in range for the gold and EXP. We also saw their whole team because of our ward. So it looks like there's going to be a fight. That was a really, really good silence.
Let me get my arrows back.
I did end up getting RP'd, but that's absolutely fine. I got 4 urns out of that. And now that the fight's over, I can heal everybody. I got a lot of wand charges as well. 9 wand charges is really useful. And I felt like I went phase this game. I kind of looked at the heroes that I'm playing against, and a lot of them are very, very small position based. So Purge, for example, is slightly countered by some allies being more, or enemies being more mobile. Troll as well is generally chasing after people, and Anti-Mage as well. 3 heroes that will be a little neutered from movement speed, so I opted to go for phase this game. And it will also increase my DPS pretty decently, because I should be able to shut down, do more damage with the aura. We did Wave of Terror him, swapped him right after the stun, which is kind of nice. It's always a really good shot of a Pudge being there. So another wave of terror, and I'm looking for a stun if possible. Wanted the tower to attack the creep instead of me. I didn't notice the poison on me actually, so I did lose some of my urn here.
Bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Pudge is almost always going to stand behind that tower, guys, so you might as well wave a terror it. And I was able to get within range to do the swap as well, so I was able to put him out of position. Still have 2 urn charges left, and I probably want to keep my draw ranger at full HP at all times, because I noticed that he did not have lifesteal yet. So definitely want to keep him full HP. Usually you want to use all of your urn charges but 1 if possible. In a team fight then, when you think you're probably going to kill somebody, you can use an urn offensively. That'll do 150 damage, because if you're at 0 urn charges and you kill somebody, you get 2 urn charges basically. I was really greedy on items this game. Really, really greedy on items, because I felt we were pretty far ahead, and I really like playing Venge as a little bit more of a semi-support, like a 4 roll rather than a 5. But basically, you get 2 urn charges when they die, so you might as well go to 0. And I like to just keep 1 for situations. Like, I could have used it on myself to heal 200 HP, but I might have wanted to use it offensively, and I might have wanted to use it other ways as well. Another example of HP removal is actually Urn of Shadows. It does HP removal when it's offensive, which is very, very useful. I don't know if it counts as magic damage. I don't think it does. I think HP removal is just straight damage. I don't think it's reduced. I might be wrong, though. I'll have to check. I was going to make a point about anti-mage. I think Urn is pretty good against anti-mage. I think HP removal is not reduced. I'll have to look it up. I'm going to do this on Alt-Tab while this is still going. playdota.com/mechanics. Just got to go to the damage type section and look at HP removal. I want to find this out. Try to think of other HP removal things, but there's not that many. Damage types. Damage types. Damage and armor. Let's go there. Attack type, damage type, armor. Ah! Doesn't show. Sometimes I wish things were more thorough here. It doesn't show on the basic splash page, so unfortunately we will not know this for now. I'm trying to initiate here. Pudge way out of position, so I'm going to throw a stun immediately. I wanted to get him even more out of position as well, so I threw him towards our drow. There's another offensive urn used, because I figured throw some damage on it, and the shackle is just guaranteed his death. It's so important to throw stun on somebody that's out of position. It's really not just about the stun duration, it really is also the big nuke really does help out a lot. 325 damage this early in the game. For a lot of these enemy heroes, even for Pudge, who maybe has some levels of flesh strength, he's only got 1, but it is just a big damage output. Was hoping he wouldn't disrupt dodge that, but again, got another urn charge, using it to heal up our core heroes, and then we can continue pushing. Like, urn is by far one of the most snowball support items, I would say. It's an item that really does help you snowball. If you're winning team fights and getting kills, and then you get to heal your allies with it, it helps a lot. I ended up glyphing that because there's a lot of creeps, and I figured we could save a couple 100 points of HP on the tower, but oftentimes it's not worth it. Our Windrunner got hooked here. I thought he was pretty dead, and then he actually mech'd himself, or wanted himself. And then he ended up getting anti-mage blamed. Okay, see that sick dodge? It's able to wave of terror everybody there. I was playing this probably a little too safe, I think. I should have gone in earlier. You set sail for fame. I think I should have thrown my stun a lot earlier there, rather than sitting back. As soon as the Conquer came in, I think I could have jumped in and stunned somebody, possibly anti-mage. I did dodge the RP at least, or did I not? I can't remember if I dodged the RP. I don't think I did, but yeah, I did actually. I did dodge the RP because I was considering swapping somebody that was in the RP. I was just trying to be useful if possible at all times. So my mana's pretty low now. I'm bringing myself a medallion. Medallion's another really cool Venge item that you can have. And these are all basically mid-game items. This is like extremely luxury Vengeful Spirit items. Normally you want to focus a lot more on warding and things, but these will give me a lot of utility The cool thing about Medallion, it gives you more mana regen, so 50% more mana regen is always a good thing. The 5 armor, or 6 armor that it gives you is going to be really nice when you're taking damage. But most importantly, you can use it offensively to take out things like Roshan really quickly. And as you can see, Medallion and Wave of Terror both stacks, that's minus 11 armor that I'm applying to a Roshan as a support hero. It's one of the things that makes Venge really good. She's not played very much at all. I think she's pretty much never drafted, actually. She's best used for things like Enigma counters and other channeling spells, but nobody really worries that much about countering Enigma that hard, and Enigma doesn't even get drafted that much anyway, so... but Medallion really does help out, especially against a hero like Anti-Mage. It helps out a lot. Trying to save the Windrunner here. I was considering swapping if needed. Another Wave of Terror to get some bonus damage on these guys. Just thinking about stunning somebody, but
I find it easy to respect you.
Again, using Urn. A lot of people actually need heals this time, though. They just said careful for Purge. It was like, it was insane. I just popped Wand, and then I earned myself as well, and we ended up surviving. I was really close, though. They were like, watch out for Purge hooks, and I threw Wave of Terror and I get hooked. So close. So now I have a ward on the high ground, so we should hypothetically be able to spot Purge.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
We will go high ground now. I should use that last turn on the Kunkka, I think. Again, throwing stun on heroes like Troll is really good. I put my Medallion on as well so that he dies faster. Earning up the Kunkka again.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle barracks has
And again, Medallion on the Kunkka.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
He ended up dying there.
Radiant's middle barracks has
He was
fallen.
quite upset about this.
Dire's
he
top
wanted
tower
he
is
wanted
under
us to
attack.
A-click the tower to pull aggro off of him. I'm not entirely sure how it works offensively like that.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
I think if you like spam A left click on the tower, it'll aggro to you, something like that. But I'm not entirely sure. It's not very often that you want towers to aggro you, so it's not a skill that a lot of people get to practice very often. So we're doing pretty well, so I'm going to start putting some wards down
Dire's top tower
in
is
offensive
under
locations.
attack.
We already have their base warded, so I decided to put one there on that high lip. I want to put one over here in the jungle, because this camp is safe for them to farm, so I want to be able to see when they're actually going for it. Looks like Anti-Mage has actually been in our jungle for a while here, but the last ward that I want to place is probably a Rune Spot covering Roshan, or I can put one... this is the point when they said that Anti-Mage was farming our jungle, so I decided to put one on the high ground over here by the rune. What this accomplishes is it's a pretty common... It's a good ward spot that also notices people jungling, basically. So I put it there so that we could spot people that were jungling in our jungle. So, pop my last urn, I go invis, I have a lot of money. Things that I can purchase now is Aghanim Scepter would be really good as well. I think I spot some heroes now, yeah I do. Kind of looking for an opportunity. I have level 2 ultis, so my swap range is now 900, great. If somebody else shows up to DPS, I think I've got the Drow here. I accidentally blocked him a little bit. And again, using the Medallion. He just does so much damage versus heroes that have minus 11 armor. I mean, there's not very much he can do at that point. He actually did see the Venom coming, apparently. So I'm going to go buy the start of my Aghanim Scepter. What Aghanims does gives you a really low cooldown on your ulti. I think it's, 10 seconds. And it also allows you to swap creeps as well. You basically can swap anything at that point. Previously you cannot do that. I think you can only swap enemy heroes. A target hero, friend, or enemy. Yep, just heroes. When you get the ulti, you can swap with creeps and lots of other fun things. So,
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
it's a nice disruption. It's kind of focused on this Magnus here. End up getting ultied. Again, Medallion on the Anti-Mage. This troll actually did quite a bit.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I should have had some sentry detection or something. I didn't realize that the troll had a Lothars this game.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
If you guys are wondering what they're talking about map hacking in Dota 1. Not something that the average person would make public.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I'll return the favor.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
That was funny. I swapped somebody as I got hooked.
Is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Flash me!
I think our whole team died.
Radiant's ancient is under attack.
I finally died, guys.
Could you?
Alright, but I was able to buy Aghanims anyways.
Radiant's ancient is under attack. Radiant's ancient is under attack.
Apparently it was AFK or something. Let's watch somebody else play, I guess. Oh wait, I'm back. I got all tabbed right there.
Radiant's ancient is under attack.
Smeevel's a really expensive curry, by the way. I asked him how he got it. If he went to TI3, he said he opened it in a chest. But yeah, that curry is very, very
Radiant's
rare.
ancient is under attack.
Hey, isn't that the... Aren't there Smeevel couriers now? Like the actual Smeevel? Like the green book, the
Radiant's
compendium.
ancient is under attack.
I think it's actually a Smeevel. So that's a turtle, a Smeevel riding a turtle. But I think there's Smeevel couriers now. Just base. That courier is very expensive though. It goes on the market, like I said, $200. It's very rare. Like my Drodo courier I think is a couple hundred. My Dolfrat and Roshiante courier is also quite expensive. Anyways, I got Aghanims now, so you guys can see how cool it is. Incoming. Watch this. Bam! Swap's so good, man. And here comes an anti-mage. I got Bash.
You got
Could I have killed you any better?
Yeah, Troll kind of gets really limited by the whole getting stunned thing. Really does need a BKB. Quite important. We almost all got hooked there.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Man, we do so much damage now.
Radiant's
Got it.
Radiant's bottom
That swaps
tower
that I could
has
stun.
fallen. Radiant's ancient is up. Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen. The Dire now have.
Yeah, I really like Venge. I have a really good win ratio with her. I think I'm in the 60s, like mid 60s. I think she's one of my best supports. But selling something, what am I buying? Oh yeah, Ghost Scepter. And my swap is still level 2. It's not good enough.
Victory.
Oh god. I definitely just got crushed by rocks. So, yeah, the game was kind of a stomp, but I think that I did a good job in the early game and it was a good demonstration of support. Always let the long lane force him to not get experience. Let your hard carry get a EXP and gold advantage. Let him dominate his lane, and then from there you can go around and team fight and gank and stuff. I really like Urn. I think it's a fantastic item. Urn Wand on any support hero pretty much is going to be good, assuming nobody else has an Urn yet. I think that's about it for Venge. I like that skill build a lot. Some people like doing a max terror with like 1 stun and 1 aura, and it does work if you want to. It saves you some mana with stun, but I really like the extra burst damage that stun gives you. I think it's really nice towards focusing down a lot of heroes. So whether or not you want to do that build or not, you can try it out and see what you like, but I like that build the best. So thanks everyone for watching. This is a Venge build. I swear to God I'm going to do Elder Titan today, hopefully. Oh God, I really need to make an Elder Titan video. The hotkeys are out. I was going to do it last night, and then I just felt like randoming so hard, so I just kept randoming, but hopefully today I will make you guys a video, and I need to open those mushroom chests as well, so I'll get that done pretty soon, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.